Hi, my name is Eric Radke, Chief Instructor at Sporty's Academy, and I'm happy to be with you for the next edition of Sporty's CFI Tips. The topic for today that I wanted to talk about is distracted flying and the importance of being organized on the flight deck. We hear a lot day to day of the importance of being distraction-free when it comes to driving cars. There's a lot of state programs and initiatives that are helping to bring attention to the issue of people being distracted with mobile devices and a lot of other things that are going on in life. Flying is fun, it's challenging, it's rewarding, it's all of those things. However, it's terribly unforgiving. The stakes are very high, so it's important that we be focused on the task at hand. Now, distraction-free flying starts with the pre-flight preparation step. When you're preparing for your flight, when you're examining aeronautical charts, when you're examining weather information, performance data, again, the stakes are very high when it comes to aviation, so you want to make sure that you are dotting all your I's and crossing all the T's. You want to be methodical in your approach to pre-flight planning. You want to, as best you can, try to seek out a fairly quiet and, again, distraction-free area. So again, 100% of your focus and attention can be given to that all-important step of planning your flight appropriately, making accurate fuel calculations and performance calculations. Now, as we transition from pre-flight planning to actually going to the aircraft where we're going to inspect, your distraction-free flying starts when you exit the building and head out onto the ramp. A lot of dangers lurk at an airport: moving parts, propellers, airplanes, people, noises. When you're approaching the aircraft, you want to make sure you're alert at all times. You want to have your mobile devices and all those distractions, you want to have those put away. As you're approaching the aircraft, you want to be very aware of your surroundings. As you're walking towards, you want to remain on the center of the taxiway so that you can see any aircraft that are potentially going to move, and also you can be very visible to other aircraft that might be moving around. When you get to the aircraft, I like to set up my flight deck exactly how I'm going to fly right from the beginning, removing the control lock, getting my electronic flight bag set, getting the checklist in a position where I can easily access it. And again, as you start your pre-flight routine, you want to do it the same way each and every time. We want to avoid single points of failure in aviation. So if you have a checklist you can fall back on in addition to a standard flow or your regular methodical approach to pre-flight inspection of the aircraft, doing it the same way each and every time is going to help eliminate any opportunity for distraction and therefore mistakes. Now, as we get set to start up the airplane, again, you want to have everything set on the flight deck. You want to have the checklist easily accessible, paper charts accessible, your electronic flight bag, whatever the case may be. I like to have my taxi diagram up and ready to go. And when you're moving around, taxiing around an airport, you want to spend the overwhelming majority of your time outside the airplane. Now, with our run-up complete, we are ready to start thinking and anticipating what our departure route is going to be like. In a towered environment, you may have that assignment already. In a non-towered environment, you might be looking for your first waypoint on course, but you want to make sure you're anticipating what that's going to be. And now we can turn our attention back to the aircraft and make sure it's finally configured. So checklist complete. The one final flow, that added level of redundancy I like to build in, is that universal checklist using the acronym SIGAR that you can run through as a final check to make sure everything is set and ready. SIGAR addresses those critically important items that can certainly cause you harm. So we'll start with the C in SIGAR, that's controls, making sure the flight controls are all free and correct. The I would be flight instruments. Instruments are set and ready, exactly how you intended them to be. The G, gas, making sure the fuel selector is on the fullest tank, or in the case of our Cessna Skyhawk, the fuel is selected to both. A, attitude, that's going to be flaps and trim. Flaps and trim are set appropriately for takeoff. And then finally the R, our run-up is complete. Now we're distraction free, we're focused on our departure route, and it's time to have a fun, safe flight. We appreciate you joining us for this latest installment of Sporty CFI Tips. Be sure to check back with us at Student Pilot News for everything pilot training related and more CFI tips.